Hello everyone, welcome to Astro Science. So today I will be discussing regarding the Kendradipati Dosa. This topic becomes a very important part of Vedic astrology because there are many narratives, opinions and views which is hovering in and around this topic. Many authors and astrologers have different views while describing this particular Kendradipati Dosa, which also leads to many myths and misconceptions while defining it, while using it in the horoscope. So in this video I will try to clarify the myths, misconception and try to bring out the truth in front of all of you to the best of my knowledge. For this I will use the actually what Maharishi Parasara has mentioned in Brihadarashara Hora Shastra and how he used it to check the horoscopes. He was very impeccable with his word. This is for sure. Why? Because he said that any benefic which lords over any Kendra house loses its benevolence, loses its auspiciousness. That means any benefic planet, if it becomes the Kendra lord, will lose its auspiciousness, isn't it? But here Maharishi Parasara has not told that the planet will become malefic. He never told that the planet will become malefic. He told only the auspiciousness will be removed. That means now the planet will act like a neutral planet. Now the planet will become neutral planet. So what are the Kendra houses? First house, fourth house, seventh house and 10th house. First house also becomes the part of trine, Trikona house 1, 5, 9. That means first house becomes the most auspicious house, isn't it? First lord by this definition should be the most auspicious planet, because it is the Lagna lord. It has got the responsibility to protect the Lagna, to protect the ascendant, isn't it? That means first lord does not get the blemish of Kendradipati Dosa. So remove the first house now. What are the remaining houses? 4th, 7th and 10th. Now any planet, any benefic planet, if it lords over 4th house, 7th house and 10th house, then it becomes a part of Kendradipati Dosa by definition. By definition, it becomes a part of Kendradipati Dosa. Okay. Second point, what are the benefic planets? Maharishi Parasara has given an ascending order depending on which the benevolence of a planet can be judged. That a planet is benefic. How much? Benefic than whom? As compared to whom? That comparison, that order has been given by him very nicely. That is the reason I say he is very impeccable with his words. I don't know why so many myths and misconceptions are hovering around. He said the least benefic planet, benefic but least benefic, is the moon which has got the strength and unafflicted, that is waxing moon. Waxing moon and unafflicted moon, it has got some strength. Okay, that moon is the least benefic in comparison to the other benefic planets. Okay, then more than that is unafflicted Mercury. First is moon, more than moon is unafflicted Mercury. More than Mercury is Jupiter, and the highest of the benefic planet according to Maharishi Parasara is Venus. So there are 4 benefic planets. Number 1, unafflicted moon, waxing moon. More than that is unafflicted Mercury. The next to Mercury is Jupiter. Highest than Mercury is Jupiter, and highest than Jupiter is Venus. Okay, this is in accordance to Maharishi Parasara. Now second point what he adds is that since Venus is the most benefic planet, therefore the blemish of Kendradipati Dosa will affect Venus the most. Since it is the most benefic planet, therefore anytime it becomes the Kendra lord, it will become neutral. That means the benevolence will be reduced considerably, isn't it, as compared to moon, because moon is the least benefic as compared to Mercury, Jupiter and Venus. This thing is very important because there is a misconception that Kendradipati Dosa is applied on Mercury or Jupiter. No, it applies for all the benefic planets. That means moon, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus. And since Venus is the most benefic planet, so anytime it becomes the Kendra lord, it will suffer the blemish of Kendradipati Dosa the most and moon will suffer the Kendradipati dosa the least. Okay. Now since moon rules over only one house, that is Cancer, so it may happen that moon can be the Lagna lord. If moon is the Lagna lord for the Cancer ascendant, then since it is the Lagna lord, so there is no blemish on moon. Now suppose moon comes to the 4th house for the Aries ascendant. For the Aries ascendant, if moon comes to the 4th house, suppose moon comes to the 7th house for Capricorn ascendant, okay, or moon comes to the 10th house for the Libra ascendant, in that particular case moon will suffer the blemish of Kendradipati dosa, means waxing moon will suffer the Kendradipati dosa, but the blemish will be very less. Why? Because it is the least benefic of all the benefic planets. So here Maharshi Parasara has not given any such important part of blemish of Kendradipati dosa to moon, because since it rules only one particular house and it is the least of the benefic planets as compared to Mercury, Jupiter and Venus. Okay. Now let us talk about Mercury and Jupiter, because when I will be talking regarding Venus, there are many points, many more points you will get, which actually comes out to a very clarifying statement. So let us clarify the statements of Mercury and Jupiter first. For Mercury and Jupiter, Kendradipati dosa comes for the ascendants like Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius and Pisces. For the Gemini ascendants and Virgo ascendants, Mercury becomes the Kendra lord and Lagna lord also. It also becomes the lord of the first house. Since it becomes the lord of the first house, therefore here Kendradipati dosa will not be blemified on Mercury. Mercury cannot be blemished by the Kendradipati dosa, because for Gemini and Virgo it becomes the lord of the first house. But for Gemini and Virgo, Jupiter becomes the other two Kendra lords. Jupiter becomes the other two Kendra lords. That is important. Now you see, since Jupiter is becoming the Kendra lord of two houses and it is not the Lagna lord for Gemini and Virgo, therefore now the benevolence of Jupiter will be ceased. The benevolence of Jupiter will be lost now. Now Jupiter will behave like a neutral planet. Check the horoscope of Gemini ascendants and Virgo ascendants. See where Jupiter is sitting. If Jupiter is sitting in any good house, any trinal house or any good house, okay, where Jupiter is getting the strength, then here Jupiter will try to bring some good results. Definitely. Because since Jupiter is neutral over here, many authors and many astrologers also say that suppose a planet is ruling the Kendra house and sitting in that house only, then it shows the Kendradipati dosa more. Yes, it is correct, because suppose for the Gemini ascendants, Jupiter rules the 7th and 10th house. Okay. Now suppose Jupiter is sitting in the 10th house. Now since it is ruling the 10th house and sitting in the 10th house, so it is influencing the 10th house much more. Therefore now the Kendradipati dosa can be seen in Jupiter in 10th house more as compared to any other houses. Okay, that can be seen. But by definition of Maharshi Parasara, he says that any planet, any benefic planet, if it becomes the lord of the Kendra houses, means it is a part of Kendradipati dosa. Okay. Now let us talk about the Sagittarius and Pisces ascendants, because those two ascendants are lorded by Jupiter, and in those two ascendants Jupiter rules the Lagna also and Jupiter rules other one of the Kendra houses also. But since it is a Lagna lord, the blemish of Kendradipati dosa won't affect Jupiter. Okay. But in Sagittarius and Pisces ascendant, Mercury also rules two other Kendra houses. Therefore here Mercury becomes neutral, and since Mercury is not ruling any good houses, therefore the placement of Mercury will be very important, because now suppose placement of Mercury is not in a good position, then what will happen? Since it was originally neutral by the lordship and its position is not good, so obviously it's going to give not a very good result. But suppose Mercury is sitting in a good house, Mercury is getting the strength, Mercury is getting the benefic aspects and all everything, then what will happen? It will give the good result. But again, since it is neutral by definition, the neutral results will be predominant. Depending upon the placement, that neutral result can be good or can be bad. For Jupiter and Mercury, both I am talking about. Okay. Now, the question comes that why a planet becomes neutral when it becomes the lord of the Kendra houses? See, first house I told that first house is lorded over the Lagna lord. Okay. And Lagna lord has got the responsibility to save, protect the Lagna, to save the Lagna. It is its duty. That is the reason it becomes the most auspicious planet of the horoscope, apart from 9th house and 5th house, because those two are also trinal houses, original trinal houses. Okay. For 4th house, 7th house and 10th house, they become the pillar of the horoscope. The Kendra houses are actually the pillar of the horoscope. That is the reason the lords of the Kendra houses has to be very impartial. They has to be very impartial while delivering the result. Like suppose the composition of the 4th, 7th and 10th house are not so good, then what will happen? Automatically, if the pillar of the horoscope is weak, the life of the native will suffer many turmoils, many earthquakes will come in the life of the native. So, looking into the disposition of the planets in those houses, looking into the disposition of the house lords and the planets which is sitting in that house, everything will be counted, and then the planet which is ruler of those houses will give the result. Means, since the Kendra lords are neutral, therefore it will give the result depending upon the disposition of the houses, the dignity of the houses. If the house is very well dignified, then obviously the Kendra lord, since it is the dispositor of the house, it will give the good result. Okay. But if the dignity is not so good, since it is neutral, so it will give the result in a justified manner. It will not give you more, it will not give you less. That is what. This is actually basically is not a dosa. We take it as a Kendradipati dosa because we say that the benefic planet will lose its benevolence. No. It is trying to give you what is actually there, not more than that, not less than that. See, 5th house and 9th house are trinal houses. They are auspicious houses, very auspicious houses. So, whenever the dasa of the 5th house and 9th house will come, or the dasa of the Lagna lord will come, it will try to give you more and more. But for the Kendra houses, since they become the pillar of your horoscope, the base of your life, so they will give you what you actually deserve. That is what Kendradipati dosa actually means. Now, problem comes when we check the lordship of Venus over the Kendra houses, because for moon it is one house only, and moon, since it is the least of the benefic, so very less change of Kendradipati dosa on moon. Okay, it is very difficult to understand that how much Kendradipati dosa moon is suffering. Okay, it is very less, since it is very less. For Mercury and Jupiter I have already told, for Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius and Pisces. Problem comes with Venus, because Venus rules over two houses, and for Capricorn and Aquarius ascendants, Venus rules the trinal house and Kendra houses both. For Capricorn and Aquarius ascendant, Venus rules the trine and the Kendra both. Like for the Capricorn ascendants, Venus rules the 5th house and 10th house. For the Aquarius ascendant, Venus rules the 4th house and 9th house. Okay, now here, since Venus is ruling over one of the trinal houses, and trinal houses are most benefic houses, so here Venus becomes an auspicious planet. See how it happens. For Capricorn and Aquarius, what happens? Venus rules the Kendra house, that means Venus becomes neutral, and Venus also lords over the trinal house, so it becomes auspicious, it becomes benefic. So neutral plus benefic, so it becomes more benefic because now there is no malefic association with Venus. So in these two ascendants, Venus, lordship of Venus in Kendra houses has got no blemish of Kendradipati dosha. Take one example. Let us take the example of Aries ascendant. For the Aries ascendant, Venus rules the 2nd house and 7th house. 7th house is a Kendra house. 7th house is a Kendra house and also a Marakha sthan. Venus rules the 2nd house also. 2nd house of Taurus, 7th house of Libra. Now 2nd house is also a neutral house. It is also considered to be a neutral house because the 2nd lord, depending upon the position of the 2nd lord, the 2nd house will show its result. Okay, it is said. Now 2nd house is also a Marakha sthan. That means for Aries ascendant, Venus becomes a malefic planet. Let us take the example of Leo. For Leo ascendants, Venus rules the 10th house and Venus also rules the 3rd house. Now 3rd house is considered to be a malefic house. So by this definition, Venus becomes malefic and it also rules the 10th house. So by that it becomes neutral. So neutral plus malefic becomes malefic. So it depends upon the ascendant. Check the ascendant. Check the planet which is under consideration, that which two houses it is lording over. If it is lording over any malefic house and it is not lording over any good house, then obviously the blemish of Kendradipati dosha will be more. Okay, because for Mercury and Jupiter it does not happen like that. Mercury and Jupiter, it becomes very simple because for Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius and Pisces, Mercury and Jupiter actually rules over all those 4 houses. So there are neither trines, there are neither any malefic houses to be encountered. For Moon also there is only one house, that is Cancer. Either it will be in the 1st house, 4th house, 7th house or 10th house. And since it is the list of the benefic planet, according to Maharshi Parasara, out of Moon, Mercury, Jupiter and Venus, so there is the blemish of Kendradipati dosha on Moon is very less. So you can take it, you may not take it, still the result will be same. Okay, problem comes with Venus. And this particular myth and misconception always arises because most of the time what happens, we ignore it. We don't take the Kendradipati dosha on Venus because we feel that Venus is lording over the Kendra house, but it is also lording over some other house also. Okay, so I hope this particular video will help you to understand that what Kendradipati dosha is actually all about. And if you have not subscribed to my channel, press the subscribe button, tap onto the notification bell icon so that every time I upload a new video on Vedic astrology on YouTube, you get notified instantly. And your comments are always welcome. I would like to ask you to check your horoscope, see that which of the planets in your horoscope is actually a part of Kendradipati yoga dosha. Check it that either the planet which you are taking is the planet really the malefic planet or benefic planet, because if it is a part of Kendradipati dosha and at the same time it becomes benefic, like suppose Venus becomes benefic for Capricorn and Aquarius. Okay, so check it if it is becoming benefic or malefic, because if it is becoming malefic then it will show you what Kendradipati dosha is, because when the dasha of the planet will come, it will actually, since it is a malefic, so it will give the result of that malefic house. Since Venus is a natural benefic planet, it will give you the benefic results in your dasha, but it will also follow the duty and responsibility in accordance to that ascendant also. Like for the Leo ascendant, Venus is the 3rd lord, so it will give you the result of the 3rd lord. It will give you, and it will be always be neutral for the 10th house for Leo ascendant, because it is ruling the Taurus sign for Leo ascendants. Okay, so check it very nicely. I hope that this video is able to remove the myths and misconception on Kendradipati dosha. Thanking you for watching, and next time when I come back, I will be coming back with yet another new video, an interesting one for all of you. Thanking you. Bye bye.